Hello and welcome to our little call, so to speak, of what we do as coaches and kind of how we got started, where we're at now. We know that you guys are busy and we want to be respectful of your time, so we're going to try and keep this as short and sweet as possible. So I'm going to go into this how I got started. I guess I've been a coach now for 5 years. And at the time, I had 3 kids. My husband was a nurse and he was working nights and he was working on his bachelor's. I had just gone back to school to finish my bachelor's. And I was working at a gym, basically like part-time slash full-time. I was teaching group fitness and training clients. And I was basically just burnt out. The gym wasn't out for me, and it had became basically just like a slavery place. Like I just didn't love going there anymore. Had lost basically sight of why I loved health and fitness, and I needed something for myself. And so my upline, my person who sponsors me, reached out to me and said, "Hey, Ariane, you're already kind of like doing what I do. Would you be interested in learning more about coaching?" And me being the skeptic and opinion that I already had formed about Beachbody and being like, it's salesy, they're sharky, I'd already formed these opinions about it. My first thought was like, heck no. Like, go away. Don't talk to me like ever again. I am not going to sell something. That was like my initial thought. Well, time went on. It was like a 10-day span. And I was still very tired, burnt out. And I knew that Beachbody had good programs that you could do at home. And I knew that they had really good supplements that maybe could help me with like my fatigue and kind of help me lose that last little bit of baby weight that I hadn't been able to lose yet because I was filling everyone else's cup other than my own. I was taking care of everyone else but myself. And so after 10 days, did a thing. I was like, you know what? And she said, Ariane, there's nothing you can lose. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee. You can send it back if you're not satisfied and get your money back. And I was like, well, that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to send back this empty bag of Shakeology and this workout program because there's no way that this 21-day program can be all that it says it is. I'm going to send it back after it's done. But at least I can say I tried it and I can move on and not wonder what if down the road. That was like my initial thought process. And so it was summertime. We were traveling a lot. We were going to Utah to visit family. We were going to Newport to do our summer vacation, and kids were out of school. And so I was like, oh, this will be awesome because it was a program, a workout that like I could do at home because they're home, and then I don't have to drag them to the gym for those extra workouts for myself. And I was like, well, let's just try it. So I started drinking the shake, and I started doing the 30-minute workout videos, which I was like, no one can get results in 30 minutes. Let's be real. Like, you need an hour or 2 hours to make it good. That was where I was coming from. And I was like dying in these 30-minute programs. And I wish I had taken like a before picture of this and weighed myself and done the measurements, all the things that they tell you to do. But I was like, no, I don't need to do that. But what happened is I could feel the difference. I felt more energy. I felt like better about myself because I was taking 30 minutes for myself. No one was distracting me at the gym. I was basically, getting those vitamins and nutrients that I didn't get before. And I started to have better energy and like my skin was changing. And people after about 15 days started noticing. They're like, Ariane, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, well, I'm kind of sort of like this coach. Like, I didn't have confidence, I didn't have belief in the business side of it. And I've been doing this. And they're like, well, I want to do that. And I was like, oh, you do? Okay. Well, then here you go. And that's kind of how my business started because I fell in love with Shakeology and what it did for my health and my well-being. But I also fell in love that I could do a workout at home and I don't know that anyone really understands this unless you're a burnt out personal trainer, burnt out group fitness instructor. There's nothing better than getting a workout where you can just zone out and no one around you can like bug you, ask you things, whatever. Like, and to be able to like not have to fight for weights at the gym, like to just like have a smooth sailing workout. Like that was a dream come true. Like that's all I needed. And so um fast forward 5 years, we've moved. I have been able to keep a lot of the clients I had in Las Vegas and bring on more clients. But the thing that I love is that it's the community that we get as coaches that keeps us motivated and going. Because there were times we moved in with my family. And if you live with family, you know that's not always easy. I got pregnant with a surprise number 4, and I wasn't ready for that either. I struggle really bad with postpartum depression and while I'm pregnant. And the only thing that had ever kept me afloat was this community of amazing women that go through the craps and cracks of life, and you're all together uplifting each other. You're not tearing each other down. You're not comparing yourselves to each other. You're in there for basically a mission to help people feel confident in their own skin, to have the energy to do whether they work full-time, go to school full-time, whether they're a mom, dog mom, like they, whatever it is, stage of life, there's a place for you in that community. And that is like what I found unique and I fell in love with, and why I'm still here is because of that community. So that's like the story. I actually sent that text that I sent to Melanie about about this call, about the Zoom link. Anyway, I accidentally sent it to Brock, and he's like, "I'm trying to join the meeting." So I should tell him it was an accident, so he doesn't join the meeting. Okay. Anyways, so that's like what this is life. This is real life. I have my toddler that's over here because he's supposed to be napping and he's not. And that's what's great about this business. And I guess that gave me the most freedom when I left the gyms, because I still love helping people live healthy, fulfilling lives, is that I can do it in the cracks of time and still be a mom and not an exhausted mom. So that was like another big reason why. And I'm still able to bring in an income that can help my family. So that's another bonus. So anyway, that's me.
I love that. I love that. Well, I'm Melanie, and Ariane is actually the person who got me started. But we actually used to work at the same gym, and I hired her. Actually, I was her boss at that time. But I had serious burnout, and so I had quit a while before we even talked about Beachbody. Although I already was familiar with Beachbody because some of the fitness programs had already been taught at the gym where I was hosting certifications and things like that. So I actually believed in the programs, and I had also been familiar with Shakeology before, and I thought it was really good stuff, but it was just not really fitting into my life because I worked at that particular gym, and they had other products, so I felt that I didn't know how to incorporate it in what I was doing. Anyway, I burnt out with my gym job and totally quit and to work with my family's business and tool manufacturing. Totally different. And that summer that Ariane got signed up, I was in Germany because my mom was really, really sick. And so by the time Ariane had talked to me, I had come from a time where I was filling everyone else's cup because our family just had to bond together, basically support each other, but nobody really had time to fill their own cup. So by the time Ariane talked to me, I had gained at least 20 pounds just over the summer. So even if I wanted to go back to the gym that had been familiar to me just as a participant or as a member, I was way too embarrassed to go back there because I had gained so much weight. Like, what would people think about me? And so Ariane reached out to me and said, well, why don't you do this? And I needed something that was a little bit more calming. And so she offered me to join her PiYo group. And I knew PiYo was a great workout. And so I did the whole thing. I just said, I'll sign up as a coach for the discount, but I don't want to coach because I'm burned out on the whole helping others with fitness. I had been doing it since 1993 and I was done. So I got all my stuff and I didn't really do it for 2 months. Like that's when actually I got all my stuff, and that's really when anxiety kicked in from like the summer prior when my mom was so sick. And I was just I had like breakdowns, like something was completely new to me. And so that was in October, and I had not done anything until January when my boyfriend moved away for a project. And I was really anxious. Well, I thought, well, I have these like 2 or 3 bags of Shakeology. I might as well start drinking them. And I started just because I was pretty lazy to cook for myself. And then there was a new program that came out that was called Insanity Max 30. I was like, okay. I thought Insanity Max 30 meant that you just go as hard as you can for as long as you can. And if you're done in like 12 minutes, then you're done. Well, you're supposed to go as hard as you can and then write down the number when you have to quit and then keep going for the 30 minutes. So I did that. Like, oh, I didn't realize it. I thought it was going to be like a 10-minute workout or something. But I did that and I saw results. Like I actually changed like the shape of my body. I did it all at home. And then I started doing the nutrition program that uses the little containers, along with Shakeology. And after 30 days, I didn't really realize what I was doing. I was just doing it. And then I realized, oh, like I don't have those breakouts anymore on my chin that I was getting since I turned 40. All of a sudden I was getting these like chin weight breakouts. And I talked to Ariane, I'm like, this is weird. And she's like, yeah, it's probably the maca powder, which I'd heard about. I'd read about hormones and superfoods. And so I at one time purchased maca powder. It is disgusting on its own. Maca powder on its own is gross. It was like super expensive at Whole Foods, like all raw and organic. I threw it away because it was so gross. And well, Shakeology has maca powder in it, so possibly that's what it is. I'm not sure, but my skin got better, so it's like, okay, that's a bonus. And by that time, like I think, like I guess by February, I started kind of sharing about it because the I think that the anxiety that I was feeling was from before. I'd worked at the gym, and I'm a total introvert. I have no problem speaking in front of groups or teaching, but for me to connect with a person one on one or meet for coffee or go to a party is totally stresses me out. I 9 times out of 10, I'll probably say yes and then find some way to get out of it. So the working at the gym was my connection to people. So once I quit that, I had no more connection. I was just working from home and that was it. And I didn't want to really connect to the people that I used to work with because they had a new boss. So that was out. And by the time, I started with Ariane and then actually I started with the workout program like 2 months, 3 months into it. I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll just share about it and reach out. Social media is getting bigger and bigger, and people seem to connect on Facebook, and that's one way to connect with people that I've known from the past that I worked with, and also maybe some new people without stepping on anyone's toes at my previous job. So I did that, and that's when people noticed, and that's when people reached out to me. They're like, well, what are you doing? It's similar to Ariane. It's like, well, this is what I'm doing. Just for my own workouts. I was too embarrassed to go back to the gym because I gained so much weight. And exactly what Ariane said, you only know this if you are burnt out from, always teaching classes, always training people. When you're always at the gym for work, for your job, you don't want to be there for your own workout. You don't. Like there's questions people give you and like you can't get to the weights. And then there's also, even if you work in fitness, people still have self-limiting beliefs and feel self-conscious especially when they work in fitness in a fitness facility. Most people feel self-conscious about not being perfect or not fitting in with the rest of the community. So basically that's where it kicked off. Like I can't really even just pinpoint one thing. But the thing is, like, I started from my own journey. And once I realized that there were others who were feeling like me, that's when I started actually coaching and helping others. And that's also when I realized that when I do what I used to do, which was teaching classes and helping others, which helped me accountable for my own fitness, the same thing is happening with coaching. Um, I have no intention of quitting my job because I work with my family, and I actually have grown up with it. So this is totally something for my own accountability and for the ability to connect with women all across the country who are more like me that I'll never come across. I don't know, like, I'm not going to go to some sort of a meetup or talk to people at the gym. I don't even belong to a gym. So this is the only way I really connect with women that are like-minded, because it makes me reach out to other women. So I think that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah. So, as you can tell, very different stories, but also very similar stories. And that's a great thing about Beachbody is that there is no cookie cutter coach that you have to fit. There is no cookie cutter way that you have to fit doing this business. It's all simply for you and for what you are wanting from it. Whether it's just to get your costs covered, your products covered, or if you want to make a part-time income, to like be able to put, to pay off student loans or put kids in activities or go take a vacation, like with your spouse or with your partner, or if it is to be a full-time income, all the possibilities are there. It is just honestly your job to decide what it is that you want to do with this business. And as you will see, that it evolves and it changes daily for a lot of us. Like I never um, thought that like this would be like something I would do more part-time, full-time. Like I never, thought of that when I started it. It was simply it was to get my products covered and to help whoever I came across that way. And now it's been such a gift to me and my family that I want to pay it forward to other people as well. So, hey, buddy. And to be able to set your, for me, it's honestly, I love health and fitness, but I wanted to set my own hours. And that's not possible when you work for another facility. You get to go there when they have the availability for you. And that doesn't always coincide with what you are wanting. So that was a big reason why Melanie actually left the gym, is because she wanted to be around her family more and be able to go to Germany more to see her family. And she couldn't do that as the director of our gym, unfortunately. So, so wherever you're at, this is just basically an intro to kind of explain where we're coming from. We will obviously, if you're interested in learning more, sorry, Tanner's like standing up on the chair. I'm like, sit down, don't fall over. If you're interested in learning more, obviously reach out to Melanie if she's talked to you, or reach out to me if I've talked to you, or whatever coach that invited you to this sneak peek of what it is, basically a little bit. This is just a taste. Obviously, there's more information. We get more nitty gritty for those that are like wanting to move forward. So if this has tugged at your heart in any way and you'd like to learn more, please send us a message back after you've watched this, and we will get you started on the next step. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your day, and we can't wait to get you guys started. Bye.
Hi.